And it was just another day, yeah.
Just another day.
Until I went to the movies, and now it's a movie Tuesday.
Just another
A movie
day.
Tuesday. Until a movie Tuesday.
Yellow, and welcome to Movie Chewsday. So, still on puppy watch, as you can see. So, while I got him distracted, let's just go ahead, get down to it. Hope everybody had a good holiday, Thanksgiving, or whatever you celebrate. I know I did. I didn't do shit. So, we'll start with the movie news. There is some fighting on the set of Ocean's 8. For those of you who don't know, Ocean's 8 is the female version of Ocean's 13 or Ocean's 11 movies. So pretty much a reboot. This is news to me because I knew the last thing I heard about this franchise was that they were thinking about doing an all-female Ocean's movie. I had no idea that they had already picked their cast members. I had no idea they were already filming. So the fact that I got this news saying that there's like fighting going on with the actors during filming is just really big news to me. That's great to hear that they're actually going through and making a movie. Remember what I said last time? Hollywood is broke, so it's just reboots and sequels most of the time, and novel adaptations. Apparently, so it looks like there's going to be a more mature or older cast of actors in this movie. The last time, like I said, when I heard about information that they were making this movie, I think there was like reports where they were trying to get like Jennifer Lawrence to be in it and Emma Stone. So they kind of wanted to do like a younger version of it, which I'm down for. I'm always down to see more Jennifer Lawrence. But she's not in it. And I think that rumor kind of came from the guy who directed The Hunger Games is actually directing this movie. So sucks that she's not in it, but you know, maybe she'll make like a little cameo appearance or something. You know, that'd be cool. What else? It sucks that there's fighting going on. Apparently, there's like fighting between the actresses where like people are like sitting in their trailers and refusing to come out, and just I don't know. It's weird. I don't know who the actors are that are fighting. I don't even know if this is like actually true per se. It's just that there's some arguments going on the set. I'm sure there's some egos being thrown around, and that sucks. But you know, it's natural. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've all worked at places or work at places now where we don't get along with our coworkers all the time, and I can only imagine how that would be when you're dealing with people who are worth like millions of dollars and have like all kind of awards and stuff and nominations and everything. So I'm sure like the tension must be heavy. But to that I say, everybody just chill the fuck out, film this movie, and let's all just have a good time. All right, let's stop the petty fighting here. I don't know if it's petty or not. You know, maybe somebody slept with somebody's husband or whatever. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe people on the set just don't like each other. You know, like I said, it's natural. It's natural for people. Not everybody can get along. It's not all buddy on a movie set. So it sucks. The cast sounds good though, man. I mean, right off the bat, they got Sandra Bullock, so that's already a plus for me. The crescendo is that they have Cate Blanchett, and I love me some Cate Blanchett, so that's great. Anne Hathaway's in it. Sarah Paulson's in it. You may know her from the American Horror Story shows. She's a very good actress. In fact, I don't even think I've ever seen her in an actual movie. I'm used to seeing her on TV, so it will be pretty good to see her flex her chops on the big screen. Maybe I have seen her in a movie, I just don't remember. But I don't know. As far as I know, this is gonna be my first time seeing her do her thing on the big screen. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, man, Ocean's 8 is greenlit, and I can't wait. Hopefully they can get their shit resolved and get a good movie going. In other news, Paul W.S. Anderson is going to, or he wants to make a Monster Hunter movie. Now, if you guys don't remember, or if that name doesn't ring a bell, Paul W.S. Anderson is pretty much, I'd say he's pretty much known for the Resident Evil franchise in the movies. He's done other stuff too, but I feel like he's one of those rare directors or filmmakers who just understand how to bring a video game over to the big screen. I think it was last episode I was saying that one of the big mistakes that a lot of people make when they're making movies based off of video games is that they kind of like just go so far off of the source material. And I mean, it's bad. It sucks that happens, but I feel like Paul W.S. Anderson actually like gets it. Like he does go off of the subject matter. Like with Resident Evil, he went way off. Like he hit the right beats where in the first movie where he like put the characters in the mansion, you know, had some shit go down, and they eventually like get to the lab facility under the mansion and deal with like mutated monsters and stuff as well as zombies. He did all that well. He didn't use like noticeable characters. He didn't have them dress like they did in the video games to where they look corny. He didn't do that till later movies. But like the first movie specifically, I remember really liking just because he didn't use any of the characters from the games. And I remember reading an interview a long time ago where they questioned him about that, and they were like, why would you not use like Chris Redfield and stuff like that? And he was pretty much just like, I want to use new characters so that way people who go see the movie and have never played the games will be surprised, and people who play the video games and go see the movie will be surprised as well, because if they go into the movie and they see Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine running around, they pretty much know nothing's going to happen to those characters because they're the stars of the games, so like their characters are safe. But if he had put all new characters into the roles, like nobody was safe. You didn't know what was going on. And he lived up to that because there were characters in the first movie who I wanted to live and they didn't end up living, and that sucked. But other than that, like it was a good movie, good action scenes. As the movies progressed though, like in the sequels and stuff, like I said, he started putting people in from the video games. He was still kind of like going off of the beaten path, but still kind of like hitting a lot of the points of the games to transfer into the movie. And they ended up just being like really good dumb action movies. Like I watch those movies like I watch Fast and the Furious movies, where I don't really take them too seriously. You want to get down? Here. I don't take those movies too seriously. I just go in there and enjoy them. And he's getting ready to come out with the last Resident Evil movie, because I'm sure they're gonna end up rebooting that franchise once this movie's done. And I'm looking forward to that movie coming out. Whether it looks good or not, I mean, like I said, it just looks like another dumb action movie with my girl Mila Jovovich getting ready to do her thing, which is kick some ass and take some names. So that's all cool. But as for the Monster Hunter franchise, I never played the Monster Hunter games. I think I played one, but I don't really count it because it was a demo. And for the most part, it was okay. It's like I couldn't really get into it. But he's making the movie. I trust him when it comes to video game movies. I think he's gonna make I'm not gonna say do right by the game because I don't know I don't really know that much about the game to see if he does right with it, which is actually going to be pretty interesting when I go see it, if I go see it, because I need to see a preview first to see what this is going to look like. But he wants to do that, and I'm gonna just go ahead and take his word for it. You know, hopefully it's good. I don't know what it's about. It's something about like how he was saying something about how because it's gonna take place in the real world, like modern day, but then like the people go in like portals or something to go and hunt the monsters. So maybe it's like a virtual reality type situation, or I don't know. You know, who knows what's gonna happen? But good on you, Paul W.S. Anderson. You keep doing your thing, man. You're one of the good ones. You know, you're the guy who made the Mortal Kombat movie, the first one, and it was really good. To this day, like I know a lot of people are like, you know, oh, it's probably not as good as you remember it. Yes, it is, because I still watch that movie. Gotta re-up every now and then. So that'll do with movie news this week. Let's get to some trailers that I've seen, because I've seen quite a few. I've seen a trailer for John Wick Chapter 2. This movie, I was actually really worried about this movie when I first heard about they were going to do a sequel to John Wick. The first John Wick movie was phenomenal, okay? And I'm not over-exaggerating at all. Like, I remember seeing the previews for that movie, and for whatever reason, I didn't really take it that seriously. I was just like, you know, okay, Keanu Reeves, like, trying to relive his Neo days and stuff, but I ended up going to see that movie and was actually very surprised by it. So when they announced that they were going to do a sequel, I was just kind of like, oh man, you know, they're going to start biting off more than they can chew now, you know, forcing out these sequels and everything, you know. But I seen the previews for it. It actually looks pretty good. I'm pretty excited for it. It looks very promising. My girl Ruby Rose is in it, so I'm very excited for that. And she looks like she's going to be dabbling in some fight choreography to kick some butt. So very excited for that. I have tremendous amount of respect for actors when they do like fight choreography. I have like Michael Cera. Never was a really big Michael Cera fan until he popped up in Scott Pilgrim. I know a lot of the choreography is done with stunt people, but it's still like the actors doing as much as they can to kind of like learn that stuff, right? To keep it authentic for the movie. So tremendous amount of respect for people that do that. So yeah, man, this movie looks like it's going to be pretty good. I hope it's good. I hope it's not just like blown up and to the extreme and fuck it all up. But if it does end up sucking, dude, at least we got the first John Wick movie to go back to. I mean, if you look at Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, right? I mean, that movie was garbage. And as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't exist in the Indiana Jones lore. So, I mean, I'll just do the same thing with John Wick 2. The ball, though, is in Quentin Tarantino's court now, because I'm still waiting for Kill Bill Volume 3, you know. I want to see Beatrix Kiddo kick some more ass and take more names in the next Kill Bill movie. Tarantino's talked about it, but I don't know if he's really settled on doing it yet. Please stop. Please stop. You're biting too hard. Please, 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 please. Here. Thank you. But yeah, the ball's in your court, Tarantino. Still waiting on that Kill Bill 3. In fact, you know, I'm going to go as far as to say, why don't we stop the reboots and the sequels and let's start doing crossover movies, okay? Let's all take that from Marvel. I'm sure Marvel's going to start that trend up in the next couple years, is like crossover movies now. I'd love to see a John Wick and Beatrix Kiddo movie. So, you know, put that in your docket, Hollywood. This other trailer that I've seen. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I've seen this trailer, and I don't remember too much of it because they kind of showed things a little quickly, like little flash montage scenes in the trailer. And that's a good trailer because, you know, I don't want to remember what I saw in there. But I do remember that it looks like more Guardians, which is great because I love the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And, you know, I can't wait for that to come out. Love me some Zoe Saldana. Love me some Chris Pratt. So I'm very happy to see them on the big screen again, doing their thing in space. Oh yeah, on the subject of Chris Pratt, can we just go ahead? Like, remember when I said that they were making an Uncharted movie? They need to get Nathan Drake. Now, there were talks about Mark Wahlberg being Nathan Drake a long time ago. I don't know if that's still on the table, but I'm going to go ahead and throw Chris Pratt's hat into the ring for the role of Nathan Drake. I think he can pull it off. There were rumors that they wanted him for an Indiana Jones reboot. I say scrap that, because that character, like, the look of his character is kind of a little too close to his character in Jurassic World. But if you look at Guardians of the Galaxy, his Peter Quill is pretty much in the same realm, attitude-wise and look-wise. Not the trench coat and all that, but just like the adventure-y stuff and shooting people. It's more in line with Nathan Drake than it is with Indiana Jones. So I would say, if you're going to make an Uncharted movie and you're looking for a person to play Nathan Drake, get Chris Pratt. Okay? That's my 2 cents. But why would you listen to me? It's not like I know what I'm talking about. You know? But yeah, man. Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2. Can't wait. Can't wait. The dance starts. The dance. I'm not looking at any more previews. This other preview for this other movie I saw the preview for, I mean, I don't know why I have it on here, because I kind of came in on the tail end of it when I was walking into the theater. It was already like near the end, but it's called The Bye-Bye Man. That's a corny ass title for a movie, but it also makes me think of The Nightmare Man, and we all know how good The Nightmare Man was. But this movie I'm actually interested in. It looks like it's going to be one of those urban legend type movies where, like Bloody Mary or Candyman and stuff like that. It looks like it's going to be one of those types of movies, because I remember people in the preview saying, like, you can't think about it, you can't talk about it, you don't say his name or whatever like that, and then they get, like, possessed or whatever, and I think they, like, kill themselves or something. Like I said, I can't remember exactly what happened in the preview, but I saw enough to where I was like, I will go see that when it comes out, because it looks pretty good. So, yeah, The Bye-Bye Man. Keep an eye out for that movie. And since I can't really, like, tell you about what exactly I saw in that movie to, like, make me want to actually see it, we'll talk about a preview that I just watched a couple of nights ago. The Mummy. Apparently, the Mummy preview, or the Mummy, has been getting shot as well. This is another movie where I heard rumors that they were going to do this, but I had no idea that they were filming it. The last I had heard about it was they were going to get Tom Cruise to do the movie, which I thought was a really big get. And I'm thinking, like, man, they're like really stepping their game up for this franchise, right? Lo and behold, it's not the Mummy movie that I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the Mummy that had Brendan Fraser. You know, remember those movies? I'm thinking of that. Apparently, that movie was scrapped, and for good reason, because I wasn't really feeling the third one with Jet Li. I wasn't really feeling that one. But, you know, when I heard that they were going to do another Mummy movie, I thought they were just going to reboot that franchise. Apparently, they're doing a new Mummy movie that, like, is going to be in the Universal Cinematic Universe, because, you know, everybody wants to copy off of Marvel now with the cinematic or shared universes. And apparently Universal is making cinematic universe for monsters for, like, Frankenstein and Dracula and the Mummy and the Invisible Man and stuff like that. And I thought they had already started this, because I thought they started with that movie Dracula Untold with Luke Evans. But apparently that's not the case. Like, I guess, like, that movie got critically panned, so they were probably just like, fuck it, we can't start with this. So then they decided to start with The Mummy, which is going to have Tom Cruise. So, like, they're obviously going, like, real big for this one, because Tom Cruise is a really, really big get. He's very expensive, too. He's like Robert Downey Jr. expensive. The movie looks interesting. I want to go see it simply because it's Tom Cruise. You all can say what you want about Tom Cruise, but I think Tom Cruise is a very good actor. Now, he has been getting to the point where he's been playing the same role. Like, his roles are kind of starting to bleed into each other. You know, like Ethan Hunt is pretty much the role he plays all the time, but he's like in Will Smith range where he's Tom Cruise on screen, but the role that he's playing is the role that he's playing. It's kind of hard to explain, but the movie looks interesting. I want to check it out, and can't wait for it to come out. I think it comes out next year or some shit. So reboot away, I guess. And as far as I'm concerned, if there's any movie that deserves a reboot, it probably is the old Mummy or monster movies, you know. But then again, maybe they don't, because they've been doing monster movies for a minute now. But I don't know, man. We'll see. It looks. I'll go check it out. You know, you can't really go wrong with Tom Cruise. Well, there was Jack Reacher 2. I forgot all about that movie. That's how bad that movie was. I blinked it out of my mind. But you know what I mean? The Michael Jordan and the Bulls didn't win every single game, okay? So let's all remember that. So let's get to the movies, shall we? Remember that movie, remember the 8 films to die for that I was telling you about? So I watched another one, and it's called Crazy Eights. Now, I watched this movie, and it took multiple viewings, lots of viewings, because I kept falling asleep while watching it. And I pretty much, the first time I watched the movie, finished watching it, it was because, I'd watch the movie for 30 minutes, fall asleep, wake up, try and remember where I left off, to start all over, and then I fall asleep again, and then the next day I try and watch it and start from where I left off, and I just kept watching the movie like that until the credits started rolling, and I was just like, all right, dude, I watched it, good, we're done. I don't need to watch this movie anymore. Then I kind of felt bad because I couldn't really remember what the movie was about or the fucking crux of the movie. So I sat down and watched it again in full. I sat down and watched it in full. And I sat in uncomfortable positions to make sure I did not fall asleep. This movie was so freaking boring. It did not make sense at all. So basically the synopsis of the movie is that there's this facility that takes these kids or whatever, or that parents kind of donate their kids, and it's some kind of mental facility, and I guess they ran experiments on the kids, and so that's part of it. It flash forwards years later, and there's these group of adults who are close friends and stuff, and I guess one of their friends dies, so they go to his funeral. He leaves a will, and it takes them to some place where they get a time capsule that they buried a long time ago, and they end up finding the time capsule, and there's all this shit in there that they used to play with, and they also find a dead body in there, and a decomposed dead body. It's like skeletons and shit at this point. So they all freak out and leave, and stumble or get lost as they're leaving, and kind of stumble across this house, and they go in the house and kind of ask for directions, and then the house ends up morphing into some weird facility, which I'm guessing is a facility from the beginning of the movie where the kids were donated for experiments or whatever, right? So then this whole thing just breaks out where there's this ghost running around the facility trying to kill him. And that's the general synopsis of the movie. It's kind of spoilery, but not really, and it honestly doesn't really matter because that movie was bad, okay? And it sucks too because out of all the movies that I've watched so far, that was the best produced movie, like as far as camera work. Like it looked like a legit movie. It didn't look like somebody just took a handy cam and said, hey guys, let's make a movie, call up your friends so we can have actors. It was like a legit movie. They had legit actors that I actually recognized, like Gabrielle Anwar, who's from she's from Burn Notice. Like she was in it. There's this other guy who was in it, and I've seen him in a lot of stuff. I can't remember his name, but the most recent thing he did was Luke Cage. He was the detective in Luke Cage. I'm saying he, so obviously it wasn't the Misty Knight character, but her partner, Rafe or whatever. He was in the movie. There was other people in it. I can't remember their names, but I do remember like seeing them in other movies and TV projects and stuff. So like all this, like looking at all this, I'm just like, dude, like this movie's gonna be the bomb. You know, it's like a legit movie. Like they probably could have put this in theaters. No, they couldn't. It's boring. The ghost running around killing them is like the one plus of the movie because it was actually like a creepy looking ghost. You're getting crazy right now. It was a creepy looking ghost. Like when they like, it was one of those things where the less they show, the scarier it is, and which is good. And when they actually showed the ghost, I was actually creeped out. Like even to this day, I'm still kind of like creeped out by that ghost. But as far as like the motivations for why it's running around killing people, it just didn't make sense. And I'm sure they explained it in the movie, but I just couldn't really make out what exactly was going on in that movie. It was really boring. They kept playing this one score throughout the entire movie, and it got on my nerves to the point where like I think they played it like 3 or 4 times in a row. And I got to the point where I was like, dude, if they play this score one more time, and they just started going again, I was like, they won't stop. But yeah, man, it was bad. There was some good stuff, but a lot of it was just, it was filler. I could have went without seeing that movie, and I saw that movie twice, and not for good reasons. And that's the last time I'll watch that movie again. I will not watch it for punishment. I won't wish that movie on my worst enemies. So, Crazy Eights, I can't recommend it. Stay away from Crazy Eights. My dog is getting pretty crazy, so let's just get to the last movie of today, Bad Santa 2. Now, I know I said I was going to talk about Allied. I did not get to see Allied yet. Somebody who wasn't me wanted to go see Bad Santa 2 instead. So, I ended up going to see that. So the thing with Bad Santa 2 is that I actually ended up liking the movie. I ended up liking the movie better than I liked the first one. The problem with the first Bad Santa for me was that it was kind of like a joke that just went on for way too long, It would have worked better as like a Saturday Night Live sketch. So it's not that I like disliked the first Bad Santa. I don't hold it in high regard like everybody else does. There was some funny parts, but I think they mostly came from Bernie Mac and John Ritter with how they were dealing with Billy Bob Thornton's character. But other than that, like I wasn't like this huge fan of Bad Santa, the first one. But Bad Santa 2, I felt like it's a sequel that it kind of felt like a reboot sequel almost, because it's one of those forced sequels where all this shit happens in the first movie, and then in the second movie they just like erase all that from existence and move on to the next story, right? And I felt like this movie was a better version of the first one where it flowed a little better. It wasn't just Billy Bob Thornton's character walking around being an asshole to everything and everyone. They actually like humanized his character a little bit, pretty much like they did with Jack Reacher, but it was actually a healthy balance of them humanizing his character as like showing the motivations of why he is the way he is, as well as him still kind of like going off and doing his thing. Like it was a perfect balance of it, and that was what I liked about it. it was funny most of the time. This is pretty much Billy Bob Thornton's James Bond. Like, I can't imagine anyone else playing this character. Like, I feel like this is a character that he uses to vent a lot of his frustrations with the world. So I thought he did a good job as usual. It was good seeing Christina Hendricks in there. I love Christina Hendricks. I think the last project I seen her in was Drive, and I don't want to. Well, let's just leave it there. But that was the last time I saw her, so it was good to see her in rare form in this movie. If anything, they should have showed more of her because she was actually like pretty funny in the movie. I thought. I wish they would have more screen time with her. Tony Cox was okay. It kind of seemed like with Tony Cox, like they just kind of let him do his thing. Like you can kind of see, it looks like they just did multiple takes where they just had him keep going. Like they just had the camera roll and they just kept having him go with like jokes and stuff. So a lot of his jokes just felt forced. It wasn't a good flow with the movie. The kid who played Thurman Merman had came back and he's actually like older. Like they actually used the same kid from the first Bad Santa, and he was less annoying this time. That was one of the things I hated in the first movie was I thought that kid was super fucking annoying. And I know that's the point, but that shit worked a little too well in the first movie. In this movie, I thought like they showed him just enough to where I didn't get super annoyed and to where he was actually funny most of the time. Kathy Bates was the standout in the movie. She was probably like the funniest character. Her comedic timing is really good. She's a really good actress in general. So I really liked watching her. But all in all, dude, like I said, I ended up liking the movie. I went in there not really wanting to see it, thinking it was going to be just the first movie all over again. And plot-wise and like how the movie ran, it was, but I felt like it was done a little bit better than the first movie was. And I would actually watch it again when it comes out on video. I think it has something to do with it actually having snow. Like, it's a Christmas movie and it actually has snow. There's something about Christmas movies that don't have snow that just doesn't mesh well with me. Like, I'm in Arizona and it's Christmas time and it doesn't feel like Christmas time because we're in the fucking desert. Okay, there's no snow whatsoever. And so that was probably another problem that I had with the first movie. But second movie was good. It fixed a lot of what the first movie got wrong. So do I recommend going to see it in theaters? I mean, not really, but since it is Christmas time, it's the holiday season, I would say go check it out. But if it was just any old other day, I'd say wait for it to come out on video and rent it. But yeah, I'd say go to movies. Go check it out. Happy holidays and all that. My dog has officially gone off the deep end, so I'm going to sign off now. You know where to find me. On Twitter, @TheChewels. On Instagram, @ChewVision. Email me, chewels85@gmail.com. Leave some comments below if you got any questions or if you want to have more in-depth conversations about things. We can do that, just hit up your boy. Until then, I'll see you on the next time. That was Movie Chewsday. Now, it's just another day.
And it was just another day, yeah.
Just another day.
Until I went to the movies, now it's a movie Tuesday.
Just another day.
A movie Tuesday. Until a movie Tuesday.